Hello everyone, Daryl here with my youngest son Doug, and we're in Anna Maria Island, Florida. Our final day here on the Gulf Coast of Florida. We're going to head over to the East Coast later today. We decided to stop by the Historical Museum because you know I love history stuff, and we're going to tour the little historical district here in Anna Maria Island. And the first thing we came across was this historic cottage, which according to the sign used to be on the city pier, which is the dock where the ferry boats used to come and drop people off onto the island from the mainland. And it apparently fell into Tampa Bay in 1926 and was recovered from there. And you stopped?
No, let's walk.
We just did a video with drone footage of the city pier, which you can check out, Anna Maria Island City Pier. That'll be fun because it's really nice drone shots. Oh, this is a fishing basket for bait. We're just going to walk around and tour the historical setting here. It was rescued from Tampa Bay, and then people lived in it here for 50 years after it was pulled out of the water. Let me show the homes that used to be on the pier. Look at that. Different cottages and houses were right out there on the end of the pier. Fascinating, just fascinating.
More cottages and
Pine Avenue Cottages, which is must be the road we're on right now, right? Or near there.
yeah.
Certainly has changed over the years.
Doors.
Mangroves are the type of trees that are most commonly lining the coastal areas of Florida. They grow in thick clumps and harbor a wide variety of wildlife, with the roots going down into the water and the bulk of the tree coming up above the surface. And they've got a nice little nature bench here where you can sit and look out over the mangroves right here into this little canal. And there's wildlife of sorts. I don't see any wildlife right now. There's a field over there. Something's moving around in there. I think it's just tree stump. A little plaque commemorating the Historical Society, founded in 1990. So it really hasn't been active for too long. But they've made a lot of nice progress in the last 27 years setting everything up here. It's really nice here. The whole island's really so nice. It's so relaxing and clean and just has a nice feel to it. I don't know what it is about it, but it feels nice here. I like it. Florida,
Lizard.
I think that's called Bahama Anole, isn't it?
There he is.
Nothing too special about that. One of the little ones they sell is false chameleons in the pet stores up north. There he goes.
There he goes.
Round and round up this side of the... Did you come to let me out? I'm getting tired of being here in the sun and the mosquitoes are terrible.
Tell us more about it.
We're inside the old jail here, which apparently has 2 cells, that was built in 1927 to handle the overexcited guests at the local dance halls and bars. They locked them up in here. It never had a roof on it. They said that the sign says that it was just the bars and a door, and people would be locked up in here overnight, and the mosquitoes and the rain would change their attitude and they wouldn't want to come back. But in the 1940s or 30s, during the Depression, the bars and dance halls closed down. The jail was no longer needed. It was let go. A fire burned a part of the structure in like the 1940s, and it was left empty and abandoned since then. And now it's become a tourist destination. Come around inside. I want to show you the cement on the walls here. Back up in Michigan, all of our concrete walls and stuff are made with gravel-based cement. Here, the cement's all based with seashells.
Wow.
They used a mixture of concrete, it looks like, and seashells to make the concrete to build the walls. Very interesting. I didn't know how that's worked. And the front shell doesn't have the bars on it anymore, but the original bars are still here on the back part. Very fascinating, very fascinating. A cool old wooden boat with a tiny outboard motor on it that probably went down the waters here around the island years ago. And floats on the wall from I think those would be for fishing nets, probably, from the looks of it. Fishing net
Bellhaven.
boats. And it's a really nice little display here. Well, we're just here browsing some of the little stores along one of the main shopping districts here. This one's called AMI Outfitters and the Olive Oil Outpost. It's kind of strange. Very nicely decorated. Lots of cool things to look at here. And a Tesla.
A Tesla. Don't see many of those in Michigan at all. Doctor's office. Low flying plane. Big scooter town here. Any more to say, Dad?
No, we're fine. Remember when you asked me what was this one's been from the pier also.
Built as an ice house in 1920.
Nice.
We'll look around.
You want to look around?
Yeah, let's go ahead, go in.
Fascinating.
We have seen.
I love it. Do you know anything about the history of this old map? What it was originally drawn for? Or?
I don't know who it was drawn for. I mean, the information is here.
Okay.
It's in Tampa Bay, Manatee River. Artifacts of very interest, not to be used for
1932?
navigation. Yeah, 1932.
Very nice.
So point you can't hardly miss it.
How long's the Skyway Bridge been there?
It was finished in 1954.
Was it really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And originally, it was 2 lanes, 1 lane going this way, and just 2 lanes. So that was 54, and then in the 60s, they built an identical bridge next to it.
Oh.
So you had 2 lanes on one bridge, going one way, and 2 lanes on the other. And then about 25, 26 years ago, there was a horrible accident. And it was one of these spring storms that blow in, and they can be really bad. And a ship happened to be approaching the bridge, and it hit the bridge and knocked the bridge down. There were 30-some people that lost their lives. It was horrible. But it was that outside bridge, so then back to using just the 2 lanes on the one bridge while they built the bridge that's there now.
Okay.
So if y'all were to go over that bridge, you would look and see these long fishing piers.
Nice.
That's the remnants of
The
the
original
original
bridge.
bridge.
Okay.
Someplace where there's like a shell driver, like across the street. And you'll look around in the shell, you will often find these little things.
Shark's teeth?
They're petrified, they're ancient.
Ancient shark's teeth, okay.
Yeah. And my husband and I lived down near Venice for many years, and we had a citrus grove.
Oh.
And we had a lot of shell in our driveways. And I found horse teeth and sloth claws, all kinds of stuff that you do find in the shell. So, and we did have mammoths.
Oh, that's sweet.
I have a mammoth tooth at home that came out of the Peace River that flows into Charlotte Harbor down around Punta Gorda. So, these critters were here back in the ancient times.
Right, we have several mammoth skeletons in Michigan.
All
Very nice.
tribes, the Tocobaga, the Calusa, the Miami Indians, different tribes. But I truly think when the Spanish came, the majority of them were probably killed by disease. And so what happened when we started moving into like Alabama and Mississippi with that westward movement, a lot of those tribes, the Creek, Choctaw, some of them meandered into Florida, and that became the basis for the Seminole tribe
Oh, okay.
that is here today. And of course, Florida had 3 Seminole wars, and the last one was 1856, which you don't think of Indian wars on the east coast of the United States occurring that late. But it was 1856, and it did affect this area here. In fact, the area, the whole lower Tampa Bay area was settled because they wanted settlers moving south of Tampa Bay.
I see.
Tampa had started out as Fort Brooke. It was a military fort, and the little town grew up, which became Tampa. And there were problems with the Indians, so they offered land in the 1840s to people moving south of Tampa Bay. And that was what, you know, got our population here started. But, you know, there were farmers, they were ranchers, and so the hot, buggy islands were ignored until George Bean with the Yankee Army arrived and he saw the island. See, the Yankees overtook Egmont Key, and George Bean would look from Egmont Key and see the island, and he thought how beautiful it was. He'd like to live here. So after the war was over, he went back to New England, collected his family, moved to Tampa, and started applying for a homestead. So whereas the first settlers came under the Armed Occupation Act in the 1840s, Bean got his holdings under the Homestead Act. 160 acres he was given the north end of the island called Bean Point. So it would be nice to think about owning 160 acres out here today.
World War II stuff is cool, and then the post-war here, that's all interesting. I love it.
We have to do a separate video on all this.
I know Mr. Ford and Mr. Edison had homes over in Bradenton area. Did any celebrities have homes here on the island?
The Ford had his place, or Edison's was in Fort Myers. And Firestone, I think, had a place there, and they were gonna, or I think their original plan was to go out east of Fort Myers and start growing rubber, you know, Firestone tires and all that. But their home is in Fort Myers. All right, on the island, they did film a movie, if you saw over in the corner, Esther Williams was
did you get that?
in the late 40s, early 50s, and they filmed the movie on an island with you. Part of that was filmed. They built a little airport down Holmes Beach area,
Really?
you know, to ferry and equipment. And so that was filmed here. It's not a memorable movie, but we kind of like it because part was filmed here. And she was given property, a lot here, which she retained for many, many years. The Rossies that started Tropicana orange juice, they lived in Bradenton, and he and his family had a couple of homes on the big homes that are still there down towards the point. And
I'm just curious, I know there's a lot of local history in.
Okay, yeah, let me show you in here, the baseball. Okay.
Oh, the newspaper archives.
Yeah, you know, the Pirates train in Bradenton, and it's not called McKetchney Field anymore, it's called whatever it's called now. It's a baseball field, but, you know, they have spring training. But back in the day, the Braves, back in the day, they were the Boston Braves.
Oh, yes.
Then they were the Milwaukee Braves. Now they're the Atlanta Braves.
Sure.
All right. Lots of the Braves players had homes out here.
Okay.
And some of the homes are still here.
I see.
And they were very good, you know, to the community. And they helped, you know, do a baseball field over where the community center is, you know, so the kids would have a place to play. and they really contributed quite a bit to the island.
Well, that's fascinating. That's a nice little
So,
tidbit for the video.
yeah.
Got that?
Yeah.
And a letter from Esther Williams signed thanking him for her hospitality while she was here. The book about Esther Williams and a little airstrip they built here on the island down by where we stayed at to bring material and people back and forth. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, we're leaving the historical museum here on Anna Maria Island. And I got to say, if you have never been to historical museums, these local communities always have really nice displays talking about the history and background on their islands. And I highly recommend when you're on vacation or traveling somewhere to check out all the little local museums. They're just fun places to stop and learn about the place where you're at.